Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Rust Admin Academy, where I teach you all the tips and tricks of owning and operating your very own Rust server. Today we're starting something a little bit, maybe a little bit different from what we've been doing in the past. In the past, we've been working on individual plugins, and this one is going to be, this is going to become a series of multiple different plugins, and you'll see why as we start getting into it. You need to learn each individual plugin, and then you'll see at the end when we start putting everything together why I wanted you to learn something at the very beginning so that you could use it later on down. So before we get into all that, if this is your first time to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notification bells. And if this video helps you in any way whatsoever, make sure you throw me a thumbs up as well. All right, let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to tackle in this episode is creating human NPCs. So an NPC is a non-playing character. Basically, it's a character in the game that looks like everybody else. It looks like a regular player, but it doesn't. Obviously, it's not controlled by a human being, so it will only do what we tell it to do. And there are a multitude of things that we can make them do. We can get them to sell us things. We can get them to attack. We can get them to protect things. We can get them to, there's a lot of different things that we can get NPCs to do. But in this episode, I'm just going to show you guys how to create the NPCs. And then in later episodes, I'm going to show you the different ways that we can do all of those different things with them. All right, let's get right after it. So the plugin that we're going to be using is called Human NPC, and it's on the Umod website, and it was created by RFC 1920. I'll put a link to the plugin in the video description down below as always, so you guys can get to it super easy. All right, so let's have a look at the website and see what we can learn just from that. So right at the very top of the description there, it tells you about two different dependencies. One of them is pathfinding and the other one is waypoints. So the only reason why you would use both of these plugins with your Human NPC plugin is if you want them to follow a path around somewhere that you've designated, or you wanted to set up specific waypoints where you wanted the NPC to hit. We're not going to be getting into those two plugins on this series, but we definitely can down the road. And if you'd like to see that, of course, leave a comment down below. Right below that, we can see another list of plugins that Human NPCs also can use. So Bank, Hunt RPG, NPC TP, Quests, Recycle, Rust Lottery, and Server Rewards. I'm a little bit curious as to why Shop GUI is not on that list, and if it doesn't actually work with Shop GUI anymore, it's definitely going to throw a wrench in my little program here, but we're going to see what happens down the road. So the reason why Human NPC uses these other plugins is it makes it so that you can make your NPC do these different things. So server rewards, you would have to go up to an NPC in order to claim a server reward. Recycle, so you could set it up so that you have an NPC or multiple NPCs placed all around your map somewhere where one of your players could actually go to that NPC and recycle things, similar to going to a recycler at a monument, or if you have the recycle plugin where you can access it on your player character. So below that is a list of features of the Human NPCs, and it's quite extensive. You can make the NPC say hi when you get close to them. You can make it so they say goodbye when you leave, etc, etc. There's a ton of different options that you can do with these NPCs. We're only going to be doing a few of them, but yes, we are going to explore some of these different options. Then of course we have a list of commands that we need to use to actually create our NPC, and you're going to see me use those here in a minute. And then below that is the list of parameters that you can apply to each NPC, determining how it's going to respond in your Rust world. All right, so I'm going to throw this plugin onto our test server. If you've never installed a plugin before, or this is your first time, I've actually done a tutorial on how to install plugins. I'll put it up in the YouTube card in the top right-hand corner right now, so you can check out that video as well. But make sure you come back to this video once you're done watching that video, so that you can actually see what we're doing here. So one little tip while I was installing the plugin, you do actually have to install the pathfinding plugin, even though you may not be using it in this specific example. The Human NPC plugin wouldn't even load without having pathfinding in there first. So I went ahead, put in pathfinding, and then reloaded my Human NPC plugin, and now all is good. All right, so now we can go into the game and actually create our first NPC. This is just a little shop that I created. Eventually throughout this process, we're gonna have an NPC at each one of these stations here. And they're going to do various different things, one of which is the shop, which is coming up in a future video. All right, so let's get in there and let's put our NPC where we want it. The placement of the NPC can be a little bit weird. In the past, I've found that it's best to be standing behind where you want the NPC to stand and just look directly at the spot where you want the NPC to be created. We want this one directly behind this little desk thing right here, not in the way of the door. And so we're just going to put him right here. And of course, we just do /NPC_add. And there we go. There we have our NPC right there. So now if we were to go up front, in front of him, or her, I guess in this case, if we just click on our use button, we can actually interact with it and make her turn and stuff like that. In future videos, when you interact with it, it's going to do some different things. So there we go. Now we have our NPC created. Now we have to get into the details of this specific NPC. So we can change their name, we can change what they're wearing, which is using the kits plugin. And I'll show you how to do that real quick because it's super simple. But if you haven't seen how to use the kits plugin, I'll put another card in the top right hand corner right now that will take you to how to use the kits plugin. Okay, so we need to decide what our NPC is going to wear, and we're going to create a kit that we can apply to the NPC. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly create a kit for this NPC. And just for example purposes, this is good enough. This is what I want our test NPC to be wearing. So I'm going to go ahead and create this into a kit so I can apply it to the NPC. All right, so that kit is created. So let's go back over to our NPC and we will make this NPC have the kit that we just created. All right, so by using the command, I'll show it to you again, NPC kit, and then we're going to use whatever it is that we named our kit, which in this case is NPC1. So we just NPC space kit space NPC1 or whatever the kit name is that we just created. All right, so now as you can see, our NPC is wearing the kit that we just created. Let's also change this guy's name or girl. NPC name, let's change this to Marla. There we go. Now as you can see above that NPC, it no longer says NPC, it says Marla. So depending on what you're planning on doing with these NPCs, there is a very long list of different parameters that you can apply to the NPC. Like you could make the NPC invulnerable, which means that nobody can kill it, which is kind of a good thing. So by doing /NPC invulnerable, make sure you spell it correctly because I didn't, it changes that parameter of that NPC to invulnerable. So no matter what we do, we won't be able to kill this NPC. All right, so I just tore Marla's face off there with an LR and she's still alive, which is good. That's what we want. Now, if we wanted to make this NPC attack us if we attacked it, then we could change one of the parameters so that it would defend itself. So we could go NPC defend true. Now this NPC will defend itself. However, because the kit that we gave it didn't include a gun or a weapon of any kind, this NPC has no way to defend itself. So let's edit the kit so that this NPC will have a gun and therefore would be able to defend itself. All right, so we've got the same clothing. We now have a gun and some ammo for this NPC. So let's go ahead and change that kit to include this gun. All right, so we've added the gun to this kit. So let's apply it to the NPC. So we're gonna go NPC kit, and then we're going to use the name of the kit that we use, which is NPC1. So NPC space kit space NPC1. And there we go. Now our NPC has a gun. I will also be making this NPC non-lootable. So let's do NPC lootable false. So if somebody does kill this person, I've gone back and turned off the invulnerability so that people are actually able to kill this NPC. But if they do kill the NPC, they won't be able to loot the body. And once we're done making all the changes to our NPC, we need to do NPC_end. That will make it so that we're no longer editing this NPC, and we can go ahead and start creating new NPCs to fill in the rest of our spots. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so as you can see, we now have 4 NPCs here. One of them is clothed, which is the way that we want them. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that for the rest of these guys. We're doing /NPC edit, and we're going to do NPC kit, and we're going to use NPC 1 again. Oh, sorry, we were editing this guy down here. That's okay. So that guy's good, and we can do NPC_end. And let's, oh no, we should give him a name too. NPC_edit, NPC name, Bob. We're also going to make him unlootable. We're also going to make this guy able to respawn if somebody kills him. And that should be good for this guy here. So NPC_end will end editing that NPC. I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other 2 NPCs that we've created there, because we're going to need them dressed up and looking proper for what we're going to use them for in the future. Hi, Bob. Hi, Marla. So if we go into our data folder and open up the Human NPC file, you'll see all of the information that we've created for each one of our NPCs. So the first one is Marla, invulnerability is false, health is at 100, respawn is set to true, and Marla will respawn every 60 seconds, and there's their actual position on the map. And then there's all the different parameters that you can manually edit inside the data file, which is quite a bit easier than trying to do it in the game, in my opinion, but whatever works better for you. All right, so this is the list of the different parameters that you can set up for your NPC. And again, depending on what it is that you're trying to do with your NPC is going to determine which one of these parameters you're going to need to use and get used to using. But for our purposes, we don't need these NPCs to actually do anything just yet, because we're going to change them into vendors on a future video. So keep in mind that there are a multitude of different ways that you can use NPCs. Like I said earlier, we're going to use these as vendors. We can also set up a couple of NPCs to be the defenders of the shop, so that if somebody comes in there and starts causing some ruckus, the defenders will actually shoot back and defend whatever it is, in this case the shop that we're using. There's a lot of different things that you can do with these NPCs. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want these NPCs to be wearing these clothes. I'm going to actually put them in a heavy scientist suit just because I can. All right, so just simply by changing the items that are in the kit, now all of our NPCs are wearing the heavy scientist suit, which I think is going to look a lot cooler when we start building our shop. Right now, because they don't do anything, you can just walk up to them and hit use and they'll look at you. Anyways. All right, so that was just a real quick overview of how to create your own human NPCs on your server. We're going to get into what we're going to actually do with these NPCs on future videos, so make sure you stay tuned and don't miss those, because they're going to get pretty fun. As always, if this video helped you out at all, throw me a thumbs up. I super appreciate it. If you want to see more content just like this, make sure you hit subscribe and also turn on notification bells. We're getting quite a collection of videos in this series, and if you want to see that playlist, I'll put a link to it up in the top right hand corner. And if you want to see my most recent upload, which is not this video, I'll put it in the bottom right hand corner. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, top left hand corner. All right guys, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.